Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I wanted to go over a topic that a lot of people are curious about and is that do avoidant individuals like unemotional partners? So the answer is no. They don't like unemotional partners. They prefer non-reactive partners, okay? So here are some ways in this video to kind of learn and adjust to be a little bit more non-reactive to benefit your relationship with an avoidant, okay? So the very first one, and this is likely more in disagreements and arguments, but it's helpful in general. It's a skill in general that people can learn to become more secure and calm, right? Validating the other individual's feelings, so the avoidant partner, even if you disagree, okay? Just saying, I can see how you'd feel that way. It shows empathy. You're not agreeing. You're not saying, oh yeah, I completely get it. I'm wrong. Let me step down. You're right. No, that's not what it is. I can see why you feel that way. You're showing empathy and you're also learning about the other person's perspective. You're diffusing emotional escalation, right? Even saying, I can appreciate that perspective, right? I can appreciate you saying that. Or, okay, I can understand that. Thanks for sharing. You're validating their perspective so that they know, your avoidant partner knows that they're allowed to open up. And it also makes them feel like, okay, you're not going to react. You're not going to crash out. You're not going to get upset at me. I'm allowed to show my feelings. It creates a more honest and safe environment. And this allows avoidant individuals to feel more comfortable opening up, committing, falling in love. And so these are aspects that are very fundamental to relationships typically, right? That's typically what we perceive as a healthy romantic relationship where there's love, there's respect, there's commitment, there's trust, okay? So that's the first way to understand how you can validate their feelings while also remaining non-reactive. That doesn't mean you're unemotional, but you're non-reactive, okay? The next one is decompressing regularly in general. I think fearful and anxious folks, especially if you're fearful, leaning anxious, sometimes you don't realize how much you need this. Avoidant individuals do this a lot, maybe a little bit too much, but I think it's very important to recognize that stress, and this is from a psychological perspective and neurological, right? But I speak more from a psychological perspective because that's my area of study. Stress makes us more reactive in general, all the time. Doesn't matter what your attachment style is. The more stress you have, the more things going on in your life, you are more reactive. So it's very important to make some time for singular solo reflection, whatever you want to call it, some time alone where you can understand and perceive your own feelings and navigate your own feelings and recognize what's going on from your side, right? Engaging in hobbies that you prefer, that you like, even if you need to disengage and just play video games. I don't think that's bad. Whatever you want to do that helps you detach, that's really good. I have one patient that just likes to bake, but they avoid doing it because they think baking no one's going to eat it. And so they tend to bake things that they can freeze or bake things that they can give away because baking helps them relax. And so it's really important. Whatever helps you relax, don't guilt yourself into not doing it just because you're afraid of the consequence. Do what you enjoy. Focus on yourself so you can decompress, and other practices, whatever you think that can help you reset emotionally. Some patients like to journal. Journaling can be triggering for some folks, so it really depends. But if you're a journaling type of person, whatever you can do to write it out, get it off your head. I have some patients that actually like this better, and I think this helps. And this can help with fearful avoidance, actually, especially, but anxious as well. Maybe instead of journaling, you can record yourself talking about what's bothering you, especially if you had a long day, and then you can save it on your phone or you can just delete it. But at least you got it out of your mind, right? Something to consider. Decompressing regularly, really important, okay? The next one is practice active listening in general, okay? Every single individual at one point has made an assumption about what another person has said, and it's probably because you didn't fully listen. You were defensive about what you heard, not what they were trying to translate. Really different, okay? Two people can say, I like pizza, and what they're saying might be different. An avoidant individual, if they're saying, I like pizza, they probably mean, I love pizza. Pizza's the best. It might be even my favorite food. An anxious individual, I like pizza. Maybe they're saying in a maybe more upset way, I like pizza. So it's like, okay, context. They like pizza, but maybe they're upset at me because we should have got something different. Okay, so they're okay, but probably I should have listen to their cues and they probably wanted tacos instead, okay, right? So what a person's saying, sometimes it's perceived differently depending on who's listening, who the person is, what they feel they're allowed to say, because anxious folks, sometimes they're not as clear as what they're saying, because honestly, they feel like they're not going to be listened to. It's the reason they do it, right? And so practice active listening. Avoidance like people who are non-reactive. And so why does active listening have to do with non-reaction? Because once you hear what they're actually trying to say, you will understand more and be less reactive. If an avoidant individual says something like, I can't give you what you want, what did you hear? A lot of people think, okay, my partner is saying, let's break up. But is that what they said? They're saying, I can't give you what you want. Okay, let's clarify. What do you think I want? And why can't you give it to me? Well, let me listen and hear. I can't give you marriage because I know that I have always had trouble with the idea of marriage. I've always felt like I'm not the marrying type of guy. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I have the right to adjust if I want to. The truth of the matter is, yes, I do want to get married, but I like you and I care about you. We've been together for a couple years. I'm okay with putting marriage on the back burner or just taking it off the table. I'm okay with that. That's my decision to make. You can't make that for me, right? And so that type of conversation, it was non-reactive. Now, I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I'm not saying you have to take marriage off the table. If you don't want to, go get what you need to get. But I am saying that this conversation, it was translated from the perspective of active listening, okay? Trying to focus on what the other person is trying to say, it shifts you from reacting, and actually you're trying to respond more thoughtfully, more aware of the situation. And it helps you as an individual to not have all of those stressful thoughts and pushing your own partner away. I don't want you guys to have that, right? Because I want you guys to get closer to each other, okay? The next one is working on your own triggers in general. Actually, the conversation that we brought up just recently, that's a good example, right? A lot of people, when they hear, I can't give you what you want, their trigger is abandonment, being pushed away, this relationship is going to end. And so they feel triggered. What are your triggers? What makes you feel abandoned? What makes you feel like a person doesn't love you? Those are your triggers. If a person doesn't answer your text message, that's a really common one. It makes you feel like, are they cheating? Maybe they don't like you, they're ignoring you. Pay attention to those narratives in your mind so that you can be non-reactive or less reactive when your partner does these things. And you can still confront them. You can still address what's going on. Hey, you haven't texted me in 8 hours, and you typically text me, is everything all right? Have you had a busy day? All I want is to hear what's going on because I'm worried. Okay? Instead of crashing out, texting them 3 times, stop ignoring me. Are you with another girl? Right? Something really to keep in mind. So working on your own triggers, being self-aware, reflecting about those triggers. The next one is don't get lost in your partner's triggers. Okay? Your partner has triggers too. Avoidants have a lot of triggers, right? Just like anxious folks, just like fearful, these are insecurely attached individuals. Nobody is secure when we're talking about these 3, right? And so everyone's got their own triggers. Don't get lost in your partner's triggers. Many times, avoidant individuals will crash out when they feel really cornered and defensive. This is why I'm alone. This is why I should be alone. This is why I've been alone for 10 years, right? Every avoidant has done that. This is why I should be alone. That's why I don't like people, or that's why I never want to get married because this happens. You see, things like that. Or I knew you were going to hold that against me. Whatever it is, they crash out. They get upset. They say something they don't mean. That's an avoidant trigger. After the fight, they let it go and they didn't mean it. You can still address, hey, I don't want you to say those things when you're mad, but don't take it as gold. Okay, this is truly what they feel deep inside. They hate me. They don't like me. They don't like this relationship. No, they don't. They crashed out, and that's not good. But don't take their trigger seriously, because then that's not healing. Don't take something abnormal and maladaptive as truth. Then the whole situation becomes maladaptive. It's maladaptive. Tell them, don't say that. That's not healthy. Don't talk like that to me. I don't appreciate that. I know you don't mean it, but it puts me in a negative space. It puts you in a negative space. Let's work towards not saying those things on both sides. Let's work towards being less reactive when we're fighting, right? Whatever that conversation needs to be, but don't get lost in it, okay? The next one is, and this is just in general, okay? In general, I think every person can benefit from this. Just take a little pause before responding. I'm not saying take like 12 hours. No, like 2 seconds. Just pause a little bit before responding. Try and think about what you're doing. Regulate yourself. Am I stressed? Am I feeling uncomfortable? What are the narratives in my mind? Take a moment to pause before responding and process what was being said. Just a few seconds can really prevent those impulsive reactions, okay? So I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.